Good morning, this is StraighterLine.
Hi, I'm Burke Smith. I am the CEO and founder of StraighterLine here in Baltimore, Maryland. When we look at higher education has three big problems: price, debt, student persistence. We've had technology, all sorts of great technologies for 15 years. Sometimes I think we hear the same keynotes over and over and over again. You could almost have an algorithmic keynote speech generator that had disruption and free and everything and change in it. But technology alone is not sufficient. What makes change in every other industry is technology accompanied with a new business model. So StraighterLine's innovation was not technological. StraighterLine's innovation was on price and on policy and on business model. And interestingly, we were outside of accreditation, and most of the more interesting models are also outside of accreditation. We were pretty controversial for a few years, but that seems to have abated a little bit. In many ways, the reason it has abated is because of the principles that StraighterLine started under have essentially been adopted by others. Those two principles are, one, that online courses should be much more affordable than they are. There's no overhead to them. Second is that anyone can offer an online course. You don't need a building or a set of buildings to be a college to offer an online course. It could be an institution, an individual, a corporation, a church, a computer. It really doesn't matter. So online, anyone can be a college in a sense. And so these two principles were very controversial, but the growth of these free courses that have come out, alternative credentials as well, is really showing that these principles are being accepted. So we sort of think of ourselves as the first MOOC. Started in 2008, but unlike the others, we have a revenue model. We award credit. We have a pathway to credit to colleges. When you charge and you have a pathway to credit, you lose the massive and the open part, and you become an OC, and you are an online course provider, which is what we are.
By and large, at this point, institutions are teaching the same material in the same way, and as you look at that, you start to realize that that has all the hallmarks of something that you ought to be able to use technology to provide more effectively at a much lower cost, and so that's what we're doing.
92% of colleges price online courses the same or higher than face-to-face courses, yet online courses have none of the overhead. So all we're doing is creating a pathway to credit and a better pricing structure that's closer to the margins so students can derive the benefits of online courses.
The key to really creating value for the student is to create very reliable and efficient pathways to credit, because that's ultimately is the currency that students are looking for. From a policy perspective, one of the things that we're really interested in and excited about is that we think that we offer a very low cost, a low risk of failure option for students. So if you think about it, yes, it is a great thing that we can offer students who ultimately get their degree up to a 90% savings on that first year or first year and a half of college. And that makes a huge difference for a lot of students. We get equally or maybe even more excited about the student who comes to StraighterLine, gets our monthly subscription, and within a fairly short period of time realizes they're not ready for a degree program. And as many educators know, a lot of times it has nothing to do with academic readiness. It has much more to do with have they thought through how they're going to balance this with their work schedule? Have they thought through how are they going to balance this with their child care obligations? And so it's those life issues that so often come into play for the adult learner, and that's where students most often have a difficulty in making a degree program work. And so it allows people to kind of continue to try until they're able and ready to succeed, which, you know, from our perspective, that's what is the American way. It's not this idea as you get one shot and either you hit a home run or, you know, we send you back to the bench. We want people to continue, especially around education and getting a college degree.
So we've got a number of things that we will be launching in wintertime of this year. Very excited for it. First is something we're calling Professor Direct. We're going to let professors come onto our platform, work directly with our courses, augment them. They cannot subtract from them, but they can augment them. They can also set their own prices. So the difference between their price and ours is something that the professor makes. So we're going to create kind of an eBay for professors where they can teach directly to students with a validating process in between. We'll also have a new website, which will be much updated from where we are now. As I mentioned, we did not start out as a technology company or technology innovation, but we are now. And we'll also grow the number of courses from 40 to about 60. So lots of exciting stuff coming from us in the next couple months.